It's a pleasure to be with you. I'm Emmanuel Achu. I'm the chairman and CEO of Anacosmos Group. I welcome you to our session. We're looking into the focus of global gold and bullion trade. And we're waiting for two of our panelists to join us. We have two joining us virtually. Yes, and we're waiting for Mr. Kumar to join us. All right, so I'll give a general overview of the gold and bullion trade in the world now. We see high volatile prices. We see fluctuations with the prices. And based on the geopolitical events that's happening, we also see issues that has to do with secure trade in the world. I'd like to introduce my panelists for today. We're going to delve into technological advancement and integration in the gold trading. We'll look at trade security, and we're also going to look at compliance in the world. Thank you very much. I would humbly call on Mr. Jeffrey Rhodes. He's the principal consultant, precious metals. I also have Mr. Sadi Ahmed, Global Head of Legal and Compliance, Sun Precious Metals, DMCC, Dubai. I also have Mr. Malik Kotari. He joined us virtually. He's the Head of International Business, India International Bullion Exchange, IFSC Limited, India. I also have Dr. Renisha Chanani. She is the Head and Research Augment Gold for All, privileged member of the Indian Bullion and Jewelries Association of India. She's also joined us virtually. Welcome, madam. And I have Mr. Sajid Kumar PK, Group CEO and MD of IBMC International Group. Thank you very much. I'll direct my first question to Mr. Sajid Kumar. What are the secure trade flow opportunities, and how can companies avail services provided by IBMC? I know IBMC is doing a lot when it comes to gold and bullion trade. I would like to find out from you, what are some of the opportunities and how companies can benefit from IBMC? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Emmanuel, for this very, very relevant question. And if you say that as an international compliance officer myself, the trust is most important, how to make the trust each other's. So we are connected with the 100 countries and from the 5 continents. So this is most important challenge, the people are facing, where we have taken the 5 steps of due diligence system in our trade flow system. Mm-hmm. So how it's happening, first of all, we need to identify one person. The person is genuine or not. So we are inviting the corporate, and corporate is saying that also, I am the person representing the company. So we need to understand that whether he is the right person he is representing or not. Mm-hmm. So that is the first level due diligence what we are doing. Second due diligence about the corporate. So the authorized person is saying that, okay, I'm the authorized person. Then I can able to provide, then he should provide the company documents. That is the second due diligence system that is called as corporate empanelment. Mm-hmm. So first is corporate listing, that is complementary, then it's coming to the corporate empanelment. Mm-hmm. Then it is coming to, we need to understand what is the requirement. Yeah. So from the entire, the mining to the market, all the entire gamut of the gold industries are coming up. Some people, they want to mining support, they want the mining technology support, the mining, the financial supports. And after that, they want to do the export, and how to do the export, real export, and who is going to the importers. So this all connection, or it is coming to the re-exporters. The entire supply chain, we need to do the due diligence perfectly. Then only we can say now, especially that the UAE laws coming into that level for a good delivery, or the coming is as good trade coming to that. So then fourth step what we are doing after getting the requirements, they are saying that, okay, I want to expand our operations to different countries. Okay, there's maybe retail. So maybe re-exporting. So where we need to understand the requirements perfectly, or if they want that, for the mining purpose, they need the advanced technology and for sustainability. Then coming to that, if advanced technology is not there, if sustainability is not there, investors will not come. So this is what the people should understand about it everywhere. And even though retail, if it's coming up, or the bullion or gold trade, this all the 4 steps we are taking the due diligence to onboard our trade flow system. 5th one is go live. So we will ensure that that will happen. If it is genuine person, if it is genuine corporate is coming into that, so we are taking into that. Apart from these 5 steps, we are also taking the 4-level due diligence. One is the country-wise, economic due diligence, what we are doing. Then second is industry-wise. So we are doing the due diligence. Third is corporate level. And 4th one is individual level. Then only this entire trade flow system will give any positive project or trade from our side. I hope that I answered your question.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. And it's good you brought up this. I know that IBMC has the integrated solution, right, into the integrated industry, international trade flow system. I want to find out, how does it address the concerns and the challenges in the gold and bullion trade industry? How does he address it?
Okay. Again, it's a relevant question coming into the how to address the challenges.
Yeah.
During my presentation, I have already covered that.
Yeah.
The major economic challenge, how it's happening. Then it is coming to the industry level challenges. Then it is coming to the corporate level challenges. Then coming to the professional level challenges.
Exactly.
So these all challenges we are mitigating through our international trade flow system.
Yeah.
That is coming up with the best due diligence practices. So best industry practices we have adapted in our trade flow system. So that means that will provide the confidence level to the both parties. So who all are coming, and the other parties, if it is the project is coming up, even the technology or investment partner should come up. So we are making the both level confidence, that first level itself, by empowering the corporate first. Then we are saying that we can able to mitigate all challenges or risk factors. Risk factors, if it is coming up, Mr. Sadi is there, he will take it up more into that. But the geopolitical issues are coming, the natural calamities are coming into that. And if it is coming that the trade flow system or entire the logistics issues, what or how to address into that. And meantime, 2 major issues are there. One challenge is coming at the exporters, whether they will get the money or not.
Yeah.
Second challenge is the importer. Importer is having more than the exporter's concern that whether they will get right product on right time. So because they are having the other commitments to with the clients. So this is how we are mitigating all challenges. I have already discussed 4 ways of sustainability or risk factors addressing method what we have taken up into our trade flow system. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's very clear that this solution is what we need in the industry, and I believe that it will help gold traders and professionals and stakeholders in the industry. Thank you very much, Mr. Kumar. My next question goes to Mr. Jeffrey Ross. What are the compliance requirements and best industry practices to be adopted in the UAE context?
Well, I think we've spoken about it in depth so far today. It's based on OECD. So when I go back, I remember the OECD first launching their guidelines on the 5 steps, which actually are 5 steps of common sense. And whichever way you look at it, you need to know your customer. You need to know your customer's customer. You need to know the customer's business. You need to know what you're doing. We have to find out that the gold is gold. We have to know that we can move it from A to B. We have to be secure. It's a very, very difficult business. But the key, the people who succeed are the ones who can do it the quickest. Because in the physical gold business, it's very tight margins. Really, I think most people in the world would look at this and the kind of margins you could earn and just walk away. But the reality is that if you can take gold from say, artisanal gold from Ghana and ship it to Dubai and process it and turn it into UAE good delivery bars and find some investors to buy that. And you could do that in a period of 10 days, okay? And you make just 0.5% in those 10 days. You're making 1.5% a month and 18% per annum. Now, that is not a bad return on your cash. So, and the OECD guidelines are there to support. Following the OECD guidelines, you had the LBMA. The LBMA, you know, I was the chairman of the Public Affairs Committee for many years in London, and the LBMA just bolted on to the OECD. Then it became the turn of the DMCC. Again, all of this was only ever guidelines until 2019 in the UAE, when the laws were passed, AML, CFT, and responsible supply chain. Laws, not guidelines, not if you don't follow the rules, you have your accreditation removed, you go to prison, or you get fined. Where else in the world does that happen? Only in the UAE. And so you follow the 5 steps, and it's just common sense. Okay, it's a lot of paperwork. There are people better qualified than me sitting at this table to talk about that. We have an expert in this kind of documentation and compliance, etc. But fundamentally, compliance is about knowing your customer, knowing your customer's customer, knowing the business, and making sure that you're not involved in any bad stuff. Okay? Now, if you're following the rules, it's like when you live in the UAE, you know the law. You follow the law, it's the best place in the world to live. If you break the law, it's the worst place to be. So I think you follow that, and so in terms of compliance, Dubai, UAE doesn't have, just follow what it's doing. It's doing what it's doing is good for the customers, it's good for the country, and I believe, as said earlier in my presentation, that UAE will become the leading gold trading centre in the world within the next 5 years. This is why London's a little bit worried.
That's amazing. Yes, indeed, you could see that the practices are in sync with global practice and standards. So indeed, UAE will be the global leader in that. Thank you very much, Mr. Jeffrey. My next question goes to Mr. Sadi Ahmed. Being a global head of legal and compliance, what's your view on the UAE's regulatory landscape, right, and regulations in general?
Right. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you very much, the organizers, for having me here. Thank you, Sajid, and thank you, Jeffrey. I think over the last couple of years, UAE has put in a lot of efforts towards responsible sourcing and prevention of money laundering and financial crime. As Jeff mentioned, starting with 2018, where the UAE AML laws were established, and thereafter there have been a number of different regulations. For example, the regulation on beneficial owners, that's Cabinet Decision number 58 of 2020, and similarly there have been regulations on responsible sourcing. In fact, in 2019, the UAE government actually established a policy to enhance the competitiveness of UAE in the domain of gold industry. And their focus has been on 3 key areas. That's governance, sustainability, and innovation. And as a part of this legislation, one of the key areas where the UAE government has made a lot of progress has been the adoption of the federal gold policy. And along with that, they have established the Emirates Bullion Market Committee, which is unifying the efforts of the government towards governing towards the governance of the gold sector in the UAE. And as Jeff rightly mentioned, that we are in the UAE, it's not just about a voluntary standard that the refiners or manufacturers in the gold industry need to follow. It's now a law. The responsible sourcing law, which was passed in July 2022, makes it mandatory for all the refiners in the UAE to actually follow the 5 steps of OECD, which includes, of course, a lot of us out here would know the 5 steps, which includes a supply chain management system. So you need to have a system which is able to detect and prevent risk. Now that's very, very important. Going forward, you need to be able to identify and assess the risk. You cannot have a plan. You cannot mitigate the risk if you don't know what you're dealing with. Then, of course, a risk control plan. Once you have identified the risk which you're dealing with, you need to create a plan to mitigate those risks. Something which is very, very important in this is to have a third-party independent audit. Look, we all feel that we are doing the best things, but that needs to be validated by somebody who's not a part of that system, somebody who's accredited to come back and tell us that, are we doing the right things? And of course, then go ahead and tell the public what we are doing. So that's the last step, where you actually go ahead and disclose publicly the results of your due diligence measures. So when we talk about UAE, there's been a lot of efforts that have been taken by the Ministry of Economy, by the EOCN. There have been a number of different training sessions and outreach programs that has been organized by the government. And we see that there is a very positive change in the current landscape. I mean, I remember prior to 2021 when I used to go and ask a customer for their passport copy. Now that was a very difficult challenge, which because we were a UAE good delivery refiner, so. And that was voluntary, but things have definitely changed in the last three years, especially post-COVID. So in terms of answering your questions for the UAE, there have been a lot of progress, and I completely agree with Jeff. It's all about common sense. Compliance is, you don't need guidelines and rules for compliance. It's just that you need to do the things and you need to do it the right way. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, clearly you can see that it's actually to the benefit of the refiners, the refineries we have, and also the traders, because it will definitely help them. Right. Thank you very much, sir. My next question goes to Dr. Renisha Nani. Wow, she's connected. What is the experience of Indian Jewelry Association and the measures you would suggest, right, to be followed in the UAE?
Yeah, so good evening, everyone. Thanks for inviting me, and thanks, Emmanuel, for this important question. Indian Bullion Jewelry Association, also known as IBJA, helps its member and community at large with the promotion and regulation of bullion trade in India. And as India is the world's second largest gold consumer, the country is heavily dependent on imports to fulfill its demand. So Indian government, in association with various trade bodies, have made many changes in Indian gold policies over the last few years. And about the good practices which you're asking me, which India has initiated and UAE could follow, let me just give my views on that. First is the mandatory hallmarking and HUID, which is the very important step. India is the first country in the world where each gold jewelry item sold is mandatory hallmarked with HUID. The HUID number is the 6-digit alphanumeric code, unique for each article assigned at the time of hallmarking. And with this HUID system, every hallmarked article can be accurately traced back to its origin, assuring customers to the jewelry genuineness and quality. And IBJA has conducted a series of programs to promote, support, and create awareness about this HUID in the last 2 years. Second important thing is India's regulated flow and mechanism of tracing jewelry is something that UAE can consider for their bullion trade, from the point of entry to refining to obtaining finance to the point of sale. Gold is a currency and its flow should be always regulated. For example, there are regulations in India for hand carry of gold on flights too. The third thing is the responsible sourcing. India also follows five-step OECD framework for ensuring responsible sourcing practices. IBJA and IGBC, along with other signatories, have signed a declaration of responsibility and sustainability principles based on the clear set of shared goals. Fourth is that India's PMLA Act, which was brought into force in 2005, which applies to dealers in remittance industry, where they have to comply with KYC norms, report cash transactions, and maintain records of all the transaction and adhere to the client account opening procedure. So this is very important in India, which is being followed. Having said that, also the flourishment of digital gold as an investment product, digitization, cashless transactions, and ease of banking are the other few good practices that are followed in India. 3 to 4 years back, if you look at responsible sourcing and PMLA were the issues that UAE was facing, but to regulate UAE gold market, significant steps have been taken, primarily centered around the implementation of UAE good delivery guidelines and strict regulations, and the penalties which have been introduced in last few months, which my co-panelist also pointed out. So economic landscape has drastically changed. And when UAE is out of FATF grey list after Feb 2024, I'm sure UAE PMA regulations would be way ahead than many other countries in the world. So I think mainly the HUID and the regulated flow is the main thing that UAE should consider and learn from India.
That's really great, Dr. Anisha. Yes, that's great points. All right, so I'll move to Mr. Malik Kutari. He also joined us virtually. The question is, what are the prerequisites for successful bullion exchange in the UAE in the light of the Indian experience?
Well, thank you, Emmanuel, and good evening to the respected dignitaries. Good evening to my fellow panelists, and thank you, IBMC. Thank you, Sajid, for having IIBX on this Global Gold Convention. It's an honor and privilege, to be speaking at this event today. In context of the question that you have asked, what prerequisites, should be there for a successful bullion exchange, I would like to give you a brief background of IIBX, India International Bullion Exchange, IFSC. So we are fairly a new exchange. We have come up just last year. We've been inaugurated by our Honorable Prime Minister last July itself. And over the course of last 1.5 years, we've been trying to set up this one-of-a-kind international bullion exchange in India. We were there this year at the Dubai Precious Metal Conference, and post the conference, we actually had the team IBX. We had some time and we visited our fellow colleagues at DGCX, in their office in Dubai. And we met the team out there, and we were discussing as to how the exchange is shaping up at their end, and what are the experiences at IIBX at us. And I think the core difference that we could arrive at a conclusion was the point of service differentiation. We've been able to offer at IIBX, and both the countries, India and Dubai, has a very vibrant OTC gold market. Yeah. So here in India, we have the banking channel, which is quite active for a number of decades, and which is predominantly the source from which the bullion is imported into India. India, by the way, as Dr. Anisha said, that it is the second largest consumer of bullion, both gold and silver. And this has been historically since past many decades. And the banking channel predominantly, is the preferred route through which the imports come into India. And IIBX as an exchange is an alternate channel. And when you are in such cutthroat business competition, and what different can you do? Yeah. And that's where we figure out that if we can differentiate our service levels, probably we can then win over the business that ways. So while I speak this, if I can have the liberty to, request you to put up a small presentation that, we had, if it is possible to put it up on the screen. I just wanted to, go through the entire process of how we could, differentiate and how it could add as a, prerequisite for, a successful Bullion exchange. Just to give you a background, we are present in GIFT City. GIFT City is Gujarat International Finance Tech City, is in the state of Gujarat in India. This is come up as a special economic zone. Now, this is an area which is carved out from the mainstream India. So we have a demarcation, and this is a completely international zone. The business over here has been done in US dollars, transacted, settled. We don't do local currency, Indian rupees. Of course, this was through an IFSC Act, and Government of India, a brainstorm, which got involved. We have been regulated by a uniform regulator over here. So what happens in India is different sectors had different regulators at various points of time. And that's where the thought came of that, we need a unified regulator which can regulate all the products, services, and all the institutions that are present in GIFT City. So that way, there's an ease of business, that we could achieve. A bit about IIBX, India International Bullion Exchange, IFSC Limited. We are promoted by 5 leading market infrastructure institutions. The 3 leading exchanges in India, MCX, NSE, and India INX. India INX is, by the way, the promoter of India INX has been promoted by Bombay Stock Exchange, and the 2 depositories. So that is a solid background that we have, which is promoting an exchange and which builds the confidence in the market participants that we are dealing with an exchange which is not only well regulated, but which is having a solid backing with leading brands backing it up. This is a bit about our process flow. We are right now in a phase 1 of the business, which is mainly into the physical side. We facilitate the physical import of bullion from overseas, get it vaulted into the IFSC vaults which are present in GIFT City. Again, these are well-reputed names, the likes of Brinks, Loomis International, and Malta Amit. These vaults are again regulated by the regulator over here, registered and regulated by the regulator. And then what happens is the physical gold getting converted into a digital gold called Bullion Depository Receipts, BDRs. Then the usual exchange mechanism, the buy and the sell side of the market participants meet, they trade happens, settlement takes over. The digital form of the BDRs go into the buyer's account and the seller receives the payment. Now we do this on a T+0 basis. So we are probably a exchange, out there which ensures trading, settlement, and delivery payouts into the market participants' account on the same day that the trade happens. So that's our point of differentiation. Now, it would be interesting to note that across our products, the UAE GD, that is the UAE Good Delivery Gold, both the purities, the 995 and the 999, they dominate the volumes that we so far we have been able to achieve. And as I said, this is much more because we've been able to do the T+0 settlement. Also, this is something which is very unique to IIBX that we've been able to achieve, and I would want to highlight this is the 30-minute settlement of the BDR as a payout into the client's account. Now, nowhere in the world an exchange would have been able to do that. So every 30 minutes we have the settlement running in. A buyer would, say a buyer is trading at around 927. The settlement happening at 9:30 will ensure the BDR into his demat account as units. He needs to rematerialize that, pay the duties at the SEZ customs gate, take the physical gold out of GIFT City, and through his logistic agents, and that's about it. So this is something we've been able to achieve, and which would work very well, for an exchange at your end, that can be thought of. Also, another initiative is we've been shortened the BDR settlement process. So what happens is uh, the the receipts do not hit the trading member and the clearing member accounts. There is a pass-through entry, but there is a direct credit into the buyer's demat account without relying the intermediate CM and TM's intervention. So this is another initiative that we tried out with the exchange, another global first, and we've been successful in this. These are the two initiatives that are unique to IIBX. Our volumes have been growing steadily. We've been around hitting around 4.2 tons of gold physically traded and imported through IIBX. As I said, predominantly this is UAGD. This is post the India-Dubai SEPA agreement, that is the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, and we've been seeing good traction in UAGD gold. Our futuristic plans, we are just launching silver tomorrow, so that is an auspicious day for us tomorrow. And we have a lot of plans to to launch gold futures, and probably come out with BDR as an option for overseas investors. So the attendees of the events, if they have NRIs or if they have foreign residents who would want to invest in physical gold via BDR as an option into their demat account, this can be done through IIBX. Now, we are a US dollar denominated transacted exchange. So the price that you see on COMEX or the price that you see on Singapore or Shanghai exchange is what you see on IIBX. So this is something that is one of the plans that we would do in the future. Our website has all the details. Thank you. I hope I could answer what prerequisites would be required to have a successful Bullion exchange.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. That was a great presentation. I think we have a question from.
I do, yeah. Hi, it's Jeff Rhodes here. A question. As a foreign company, say based in the UAE, is it possible to be a member of the IIBX, or do I have to have an account with an Indian member? And secondly, you mentioned taking delivery on the same day basis. I mean, the same day settlement is amazing. Congratulations. But if I take the gold from the vault in Gift City, can I then deliver that gold anywhere in India, or is there a restriction?
Right. Hi, Jeffrey, and thank you so much for the question. And yes, so UAE-based supplier, bullion supplier, can very well get on board with us. And the options that supplier has is three. One is to set up a shop inside Gift City, become a full-fledged Gift IFSC member, take up membership, take the requisite approvals from the regulator, the local authorities, and start the physical supplies. And not just that, when we launch the derivatives or when we launch a digital option for the overseas investors, say we launch a repo against dollar, kind of a repo on BDR against dollars, you can participate on that as well. So you can do both. You can be part of the physical business, you can be part of the trading activities as well. The second option is you don't want to be part of the Gift City ecosystem. We are much more comfortable in UAE. So yes, why not? The option you have is you become a limited purpose trading member. Now this nomenclature has been changed to a special category client through a circular which is issued by a regulator just yesterday itself. So what happens is, from your own jurisdiction, we give you a remote access. So you can deposit your physical bullion inside the Gift City vaults, which of course have the global insurance, and you trade through remote access on the exchange systems. So you put in your offers like that. But remember, in this option, you can only offer your prices. That is, you can only sell. You cannot do the physical trading. So that's the basic difference. And the third option, as you said, is to come under a trading member or a broker, as you say, registered with them, do the KYC, and start the supplies and be part of the trading activities as well. I'm sorry, I forgot the second question.
The second question, which is really important, in my view, is if I take gold in Gift City, take it from the vault, can I then deliver that gold anywhere in India?
Yes, essentially that's the whole idea of Gift City is to let the imports be facilitated through Gift City. So you buy on IIBX exchange. Once the BDR gets credited into your demat accounts, you have to remat them, pay the custom duties, the import Indian duties through the customs office, which is present in Gift City. And through a logistic agent, you arrange for the delivery anywhere inside India. That's for the qualified jewelers which would want to take it in, say, Mumbai or Delhi. They can very well do that. Of course, now it is T+0, but since the logistic time is involved, so the actual deliveries may happen next day morning. But the BDR is there in your account 30 minutes flat, every 30 minutes.
That's great. I mean,
You are an overseas.
sorry, carry on.
Yeah, you are an overseas, an overseas entity. Overseas entity as well has two options. When you deposit your bullion inside Gift City vaults, and you don't see a good demand on IIBX as such, the market here, is dynamic. It goes into discount at varied intervals, and you see a better opportunity in Dubai, or you see a better opportunity in Hong Kong or in London. And you can very well take your own gold out of the Gift City vaults. There are no duties involved, so because Gift City is a tax-free zone essentially. So you can take out your own gold, outside Gift City and, take it to Dubai again. So that option is also available.
That's amazing because one of the big problems, I've been here, as you know, for a long time. And the reason when we set up Standard Bank back in 1997 in Dubai and not actually come to India, that it was easier to hub physical gold here and then deliver it to the 30-odd different states, because everyone had different rules and regulations, everyone had different taxation and so on. But it seems now that, and the one thing that you were terrified of is sending your gold to India and not being able to take it back because the markets had changed. So the ability to take gold back, even though we'd sent it into Gift City and take it back relatively easily, would encourage me, for one, to keep gold in Gift City because I'm much more likely to sell gold in India than anywhere else in the world. So, but having the ability to bring it home is really a big plus. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. And yes, so that's the uniqueness we offer. So this is considered a pitch of what something I don't know.
Mr.
I would
Maulik,
I would invite the global bullion community to come on board and start the supplies with IBX.
yes,
Let's do business together.
yeah, continuing to Mr. Jeffrey's question, the foreign membership, IIBX is providing, how that membership can able to support exporters or exporters of UAE to India for hedging purpose, how it is liquid?
Right. So, Sajid, just to give you the numbers on the supply side today, I have 22 entities on board with us, and all of them are Dubai entities. So that's the kind of association that we have with Dubai. I mean, the three options have already laid down what options you have to get on board. Sadi is here. Sam Precious Metals is also coming on board with us through one of the trading members. So that's if you have a good association, we have branded names which are quite active on the equity side, on the domestic side in India. The same brands are there in Gift City, and they will service you well. You get on board with them, and you don't need to be present inside Gift City. Wherever they're in Dubai, you can do both the physical and the trading business. Or if you want to be part of Gift City, we are much welcome. Set up an IFSC entity and do many more activities. Of course, IIBX, I represent IIBX, so IIBX is a big part of Gift City. Yeah. But there are many more things happening in Gift City. There are two global equity exchanges as well. and you can play a part in the wealth funds, and another financial services also can be offered.
Now, one more question is there, how we can able to see IBMC is having industries integrated international trade flow system, and it is connected with 100 countries. How the African exporters can able to get benefit from IABX?
Right. So, irrespective of the entity jurisdiction, much more welcome to come on board. As I said, the process and the options are three. Either you set up an office in GIFT IFSC, or you come in under a broker, trading member, or you become a limited purpose trading member. These are the three options of membership that the African entities can come on board. We have a know your bullion depositor compliance document which defines the OECD due diligence, which Jeffrey also mentioned. That's part of our responsible sourcing document, which we mandate as part of the onboarding. If you satisfy that, if you satisfy the KYC norms, our website under the membership tab, we have the option, we have the names of the member directories. Get in touch with them and get on board as a client, and we name them as qualified suppliers. I have an email address which is called membership@iibx.co.in. Please shoot in email, and we will reply you back for sure with all the details.
Currency wise, which all are currencies being used for settlement?
So this is an international zone. Presently, we only deal with we transact and settle in US dollar zone.
Okay.
Wishing all success for the silver launching by tomorrow. Thank you.
All right. I think it's a great solution. There are more questions for you, but because of our time, we're going to leave it here, because one question has to do with different jurisdictions and how this can be implemented based on different regulatory landscape. So I wanted to know how that can be implemented across different jurisdictions. I mean, that's a follow-up question to what Mrs. Sajid asked you. There are people from maybe
I'm
Ghana,
sorry.
somebody from Nigeria, somebody from different countries. How can this be implemented across different jurisdictions based on different regulatory landscape that we have?
So membership categories are well defined irrespective of jurisdiction. You get in touch with us, you do the KYC, and that's as simple as that. So I don't see a difference in an entity coming in from Africa, or an entity coming in from Dubai, or entity coming in from Singapore. So for me, if you satisfy the KYC, and if you satisfy the know your bullion depository norms, you are much more welcome to come on board. So as I said, my website defines the contact details. If anybody wanting to get in touch, we would well explain and lay out the procedures to get on board.
Now, adding to Mr. Emmanuel's question, the regulatory framework, that's what Emmanuel
it's
was
quite different.
asking, and which all are countries you have regulatory wise tie-up IIBX is having at present?
Every country has
if
their
the question-
compliance, so it should be able to be implemented across. And how do you comply with these different regulatory frameworks?
So anybody providing me a UAE GD or an LBMA gold, for me, is a good supplier. So you qualify with the KYC norms. I only take good delivery gold, so I will only take UAE GD compliant gold. So if India has a SEPA agreement with Dubai, I ensure that the shipment should have a COO, certificate of origin, which is given by Ministry of Economy. So that's my compulsory document, which I take with the shipment. So anybody coming in from Nigeria or elsewhere, you have to ensure that the two purities that I take is 995 kg bars and 999 gram bars. I take LBMA good delivery, I take UAE good delivery gold, and that's it. I mean, you need to have a tie-up with one of the vault managers, Prince or Loomis or Malka Amit. and that's how the business works.
And
Okay.
so, by what you just said there, so hand carry of gold into Gift City is not allowed or is
Yeah.
not possible. Is that correct?
Uh, I don't think so. I don't think so,
Unfair
Jeffrey.
question, sorry. It's just that hand carry is everyone in UAE, since I've been here in 1997, has talked about hand carry, and I just wanted to put that in, because it's very difficult you can't, with hand carry, you're just not sure of documentation,
Yeah.
it may be forged, it may be gold, it may not be gold, so
Yeah.
it's probably easier just to say hand carry, no.
Connecting to that, one more thing, sorry. Especially African countries, where we are also, our trade flow system is also connected very well. And African councils are also there and well reputed. Will you be interested if we are bringing our trade flow system is enhancing to IIBX? Will you be agreeing on that without touching UK or UAE?
Honestly, Sajid, we are a regulated institution, and the regulator defines the procedures with which we are supposed to do the business. So, outside LBMA or outside good delivery, LBMA and both UAGD, we do not do business. For us, that's a mandate that we only take good delivery bullion, both gold and silver. And also the purities are well defined. Right now, been restricted to 9 and 5 kg bars and 999 bars. As and when we expand the horizons of business or we come into different phases, products, and things like that, probably we reconnect at a later stage and see what best options we can explore.
Correct. What we can do that now, the mining councils are the mining chambers are there. We are
Yeah.
connected. They are well regulated. And as you mentioned that for the logistics, the transfer, the brings or transguard, they are having assaying facility as well. So if they are also giving whether you will accept or not, and whether IABX will be interested if we are bringing, IBMC is bringing such, suggestions to elevate into the regulatory of Indian regulatories.
So let's connect sometime
Yeah.
after the event, Sajid, and explore what can be done on this, and we will take it up.
All right, so I think that was a great presentation. There are more questions. I know that our audience also have a lot of questions. So this needs more time for us to interrogate and also check the regulations and all that. So thank you for the presentation. I'm sure that later on we're going to delve into this and it will actually benefit the industry. Thank you, sir. I'll take last question for our esteemed panelists. I'll go straight to Dr. Renisha. All right. Now, you have done PhD on determinants of gold prices. I'd like to ask you, what are the top parameters that one should look at in determining the price of gold?
Yeah, thanks, Enamel, for this question. Well, I have been analyzing bullion markets for almost 2 decades now, and my PhD study was divided into two parts. One was to study various market scenarios that are impacting gold prices and internationally, and the second thing was to study the important determinants impacting gold prices. So I studied 30 determinants that affect the prices of gold, not just 5, 6 that everybody is talking about. So these 30 determinants were grouped into US macroeconomic factors, technical and sentimental factors, fundamental factors, intermarket factors. And various market scenarios were segregated into financial crisis, geopolitical tensions, natural calamities, loose monetary policy, tight monetary policy, risk of sentiment, risk on sentiment. So these were the basic scenarios that I studied. And I studied last 20 years of historical data, and after applying various statistical studies and models, let me tell you, two most important findings that I came up with. So the first one was that the two market scenarios, which are very, very positive for gold prices, is when monetary policy is going to be tightened and when there is expectation of financial crisis or risk of recession in the economy. So during these scenarios, prices have risen by more than 30%. The second topmost finding was that the five points which you're asking me that one should look at for determining gold prices are: number one is dollar index, second is 10-year bond yield, third is inflation rate, fourth is central bank and ETF holdings, and fifth is US interest rate expectation. So after many, many years, all these five determinants are coming together now and coming into play, and this giving a bull run in gold in 2024. Also, the monetary policy is expected to be tightened as recession concerns are looming. So I think 2024 is going to be a year of gold, and where we'll witness record high prices again.
All right, that's really great. Thank you very much. I would go straight to Mr. Sadi Ahmed. I'm going to put 2-3 questions together so you answer quickly because of our time. Number one is what are the main features of the due diligence regulations for responsible supply of gold? That's one. How do these regulations and their compliance help the UAE position as the leading global hub in the gold trade, as Mr. Jeffrey talked about? How does this work?
Right. If we talk about the consumers have become very conscious now. Everybody is talking about the source, whether your source has been responsible, whether your material is responsibly sourced. And I completely agree when Jeff said that in the next 5 years, UAE is destined to become the top gold trading hub, and we will overtake Switzerland soon. It is very important that and Sajid also mentioned, it's about the trust. Responsible sourcing is the trust that you build in the entire supply chain, starting from the miners to the traders to the refiners and right up to the consumer. So UAE's efforts in this area has been phenomenal, as I mentioned earlier, and this is something which will go a long way in terms of getting the trust in the consumers. Now, when we talk about gold, gold is an industry which is inherently a high-risk industry. There are a number of different factors that play a very critical role in making this a high-risk industry. There is potential for terrorist financing, there's potential for environmental degradation, there's potential for contribution to armed conflict. We can talk about corruption, which is a big risk when we are talking about certain producing countries. So there is a lot of risk which is involved in this industry. And the stakeholders, especially the upstream stakeholders, need to play a very important role in ensuring that our industry is safe. It's not contributing to conflict. It's not contributing to the problems that is happening around the world. It's not contributing to the degradation of environment. It's not contributing to health and safety concerns. So if we talk about sustainability, if we talk about what we want to achieve, as the world we want to achieve in 2015, it's very important we focus on our industry and we comply with the responsible sourcing guidelines. Now, it is, as I said, this is something which is going to be implemented not just by regulations, it needs to come from within. See, gold doesn't have a DNA. Gold is not something which, you look at it and you say, okay, this has come from this region, this has come from that region. There is obviously, if somebody who understands chemistry would be able to understand that gold does not have a DNA. It's not something which you can have processes, you can have practice in place, but somebody who wants to overcome those will have the opportunity to do that. So for us, as a refiner, as a UAE good delivery refiner, as a refiner in the UAE, we need to make sure that we apply the correct processes, we apply the correct systems, we have checks in place, and we keep improving ourselves. So we keep learning. And as Sam, what we have started doing recently is we have invested a lot in our compliance. We have a team of 16 members in compliance, as well as we have contracted with third party where we are not just focusing on documentation, because documentation is something which, as somebody on the panel said, you can, I think it was Jeff who talked about hand carry and it can be washed. So what we are trying to do is we are actually visiting on site. We are going up to those mines. We are going and seeing on ground what's actually happening. And then we get a better perspective. As we were discussing, that compliance is a lot about common sense, and it just cannot be dependent on paperwork. Paperwork is very good for documentation, but to get the correct context, you need to understand what's actually happening on ground, and that's what we are working on, and that's what I feel would take us forward. And we strongly believe that compliance is the future. If you want to achieve success, you have to be in the right path. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I think we'll take our final words from Mr. Jeffrey.
Yeah, look, I mean, you make a really great point there. The only way you can be sure of where the gold is coming from, certainly in the artisanal sector, and that's the problematical area is artisanal.
Yeah.
For medium and large scale, it's okay. These are big companies. So it's the artisanal sector. So the only way to know where the gold is coming from is to have boots on the ground.
Yeah.
What does that mean? It means having offices and people in the artisanal mining sectors. Yeah. So they're physically there, seeing them every day. So really knowing those miners who are doing it. So coming back to Goldstrom, this is what they do. They have something called a FATE office. It means foundry analysis and trading and export from on the ground. So then you can prove it. Otherwise it's paperwork, and paperwork may be accurate, may not be accurate. So yeah, I think for me, having boots on the ground in the artisanal mining sectors is the way forward.
Thank you very much. I mean, it's good to know that this is gold. And I think he mentioned something. He said gold does not have DNA. You have to check it. You have to make sure that it complies with all regulations. Thank you very much. I would ask Mr. Sajid to give his final words on the relevance, the essence of secure trade flow, the essence of it. I know that there are companies that wants to be onboarded on the industry's platform. What is the essence? What is the importance and significance of that?
Correct. If we are seeing that the due diligence or enhanced due diligence or whatever kind of the compliance what we are taking or legal steps what we are taking, the platforms are most important.
Yeah.
So to take the local community into the professional, the or domestic to the international level, knowledge is most important. If people does not know about compliance, means the 5 years back hand carry was happening in Dubai and a lot of things were happening, but it's not at all possible as per the regulations of UAE today. So what I'm saying that after learning, so after getting that information, the right platform are most important.
Yeah.
They cannot able to go directly to the Bullion exchanges or the gold and commodity exchanges. So there should be a clear system for empowering each and every entities. In UAE or GCC, if you're saying that the family businesses were happening more into that, or partnerships. And the corporate culture, if you are saying that, it is not up to that mark. And the second thing, the protection plan, the financial protection, that's most important. The financial service industry's upgradation, that's also most important.
Yeah.
So the platform, how this trade flow system, the IBMC have taken up into this next level, not jumping directly to the exchange level. We know we have that capacity, but we are not jumping into that. But well before that, the trade flow system is providing these 5 steps of the due diligence. They need to understand themselves first. They need to empower, then only they can able to come to the international market. And how they can able to elevate their status to the listed company. So this is how the trade flow system is very much relevant, and which we have already launched and giving that to 5 levels of due diligence system. Then only they can think of the exchange, the compliance or legal things, legal matters. Otherwise, what will happen that the regional exchanges, as per the companies, they are coming and listing means where is the value, where is the volume is coming up into that. So 2 ways, this UAE's new regulations are empowering the corporate in 2 ways. One is business development. Second is corporate empowerment. So from the family kind of, the trading or business or project, what they were doing, this is going to move away from the economy. That is coming to the professional system. Then you can see the local regional exchanges will be the relevant for all the corporate. Thank you.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Please, can we...
Emmanuel, I'd just like to add a few things there. So, Sach talked about empowerment, and now that's very, very important, and that's critical that we actually empower the people on the ground, especially when we are dealing with artisanal or small-scale miner. We cannot expect them to be doing the same things which a large-scale miner would be doing, and that would be really unrealistic. So we need to understand that due diligence and responsible sourcing is not a short-term achievement which we are looking for. It's a long-term plan that we need to focus on. Where we are today and where we want to be tomorrow, it's something which needs to be defined very well. At SAM, we've been working very closely with Faisal. He's here from AKW, and they've been doing a lot of work in different African countries and Latin American countries in terms of the site visit. And one of our focus areas have been to actually look at the improvements that we have brought about collectively. And that's really the essence of responsible sourcing. Something which, there has been a change in stance from LBMA and some of the other regulators in this area, where previously they were looking at artisanal miners and saying, no, we don't want to touch this area. But there has been now a big shift where they have been focusing on this area and saying, yes, let's work towards improving what's not up to the mark, and then actually making it more secure and more responsible. So that's very important, that we understand the context, we understand the perspective, and then look at due diligence and responsible sourcing accordingly, and not just theoretically and say, okay, this is not there with you, so we're not going to work with you. So that's very, very important, to be realistic.
Well,
adding to that, exactly the empowerment, it's coming up through the CSR and SDG goals. So where is that? The exchanges should take up that matter. This is what for IIBX, my suggestion on that. Don't, as Mr. Sadi rightly said, that no, only LBMA or is coming. So that's good practice, but we need to uplift the other regions. So as you rightly asking that question for the regulations. That's it, thank you.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I believe that we've been able to tackle the major areas in the gold trading and bullion trading industry. One is the secured trade flow. We've been able to look at technological integration, right? And we've also looked at best practices. I think she also did a lot about the gold price, and if you look at how the price is highly volatile. So I think we've learned a lot today. I would like to thank you very much for joining this session. Shall we give esteemed panelists a round of applause? All right.